So it has been 1 year since I have become a hardcore dedicated trophy hunter. And so far, I have been through some things that have drained my soul and gotten myself into some tough and stressful situations. And with that said, I will be going through and talking about my thoughts of my first year of trophy hunting. So first up we have is Resident Evil 5. And I got this platinum trophy on May 6, 2023. This was my first Resident Evil game I have ever played. And for this game, it will require you to play multiple times, once on veteran and another on professional difficulty. And also the one trophy I have a hard time trying to do was the drive-by trophy. And it's where you have to basically shoot out the driver out of an armored truck. This was quite challenging because you would either blow up the truck trying to do it or you would just end up dying. And also another thing is it was very difficult to get an angle on the driver. There is also a bit of a grind trying to get every gun and upgrade it to the max level. So I would recommend getting someone to play this game with and get the platinum trophy with because it made the experience so much better. So right after Resident Evil 5, we have the Pig D and the Pig Quiz, which are two pig related games I did. And I both got these platinum trophies on May 6, 2023 as well. I mean, there is nothing much to explain about these two games. These are those games that will take like under 5 minutes to platinum. I mainly did these as a joke, but it has started my journey to go and platinum every pig and mafia related game there is out there. And yeah, that's all I have to say about these two games. So up next is Uno. Now it doesn't have a platinum trophy, but it should, because there is literally a trophy that has the definition of a platinum trophy. And that trophy is called Collector. And the definition says, unlock all other Uno trophies. Now this trophy is a gold trophy, but it has the definition of basically what a platinum trophy is. But anyways, I got Uno 100%, but it was not easy. The majority of the trophies was alright, except for 2, maybe 3 trophies. One of them requires you to win 10 online games, which we all know how we feel about online trophies. But the 2 I was mainly stuck with was Nerves of Steel and Flying Higher. Nerves of Steel wants you to win 20 Wild Draw 4 challenges, and High Flyer wants you to win a game with more than 700 points, by which these points are determined by how many cards your opponents have. For these 2 trophies, I had to have a friend help me with them to help me boost them. And all they would do is just keep drawing cards when it's their turn, and when they had a Wild Draw 4, they would just place it down, and I would do the challenge or whatever, and I would basically win because they would have like 20 or 30 cards. And also by winning the game overall, it would give me a lot of points because of how many cards they picked up. I mainly tried to do these 2 trophies with AI, and it was just a pain in the ass to do so. But if you decided to play this for the trophies, I would recommend finding someone to help boost these trophies. It would make things go a lot better. So up next is Terraria. I got this platinum on May 8th, 2023. I am very proud to have this platinum because it took me a long time overall to get these grindy trophies, which are to find all the pets, smelt 10,000 bars of metal, and collect all the armor sets. Although for the pet collector trophy, there were only specific pets you needed for the trophy. As DLCs came in, it would include more pets, by which you don't need those pets for this trophy. So there was only a specific amount or a specific pets you needed for this trophy. And the other thing is you had to use these pets. It wouldn't count towards the trophy if you just pick it up or collect it. Overall, I still enjoyed my time playing Terraria, but it took a long time to get it done. Like, I believe the guide says it would take, 50 hours. I highly doubt that. It would take like double, maybe triple that, depending on the RNG with like the pets and the armor sets and stuff like that. So up next after that is Minecraft Dungeons, which is all the way up here somewhere. I'm trying to find it right here. And I got this platinum on May 16th, 2023. This was the first game I actually played to make into a platinum trophy video, which you can check that out in the pinned bubble or whatever the YouTube thing is. But anyways, this game will have you play multiple playthroughs because you have to unlock Apocalypse mode. And for that, you have to defeat the final boss on that mode. You will also have to do quite a bit of leveling to get to level 50, and have to get enough points to upgrade your gear to the max enchantment on all 3 slots. And the one trophy that I had a hard time with was Blast Radius, where you had to kill any 10 mobs at once with a TNT explosion. This took me a couple tries to do. But other than that, the rest is pretty easy and straightforward. So in my first Platinum Trophy Showcase video, I said that I gave up on Saints Row 4 on the PlayStation 3 version, because it kept crashing on me. But on May 21st, 2023, I hooked up the PlayStation 3 and decided to clean up on my backlog. And I saw Saints Row 4 and I said to myself, I could deal with the crashes. I think I can clean up and do this game. And with that, I managed to do so, as I only had 15 challenges to do. While I was doing the challenge for doing all the on foot mayhems, I did the last one to get the gold medal for, and it didn't check it off, so it really scared me. I then decided to do some of the old mayhems I previously did to see if that would work, but it didn't. That is when I found out one of the telekinesis mayhems was not a gold medal, so I went back and did that one, and that worked. Everything else was smooth sailing, and I managed to do everything else no problem. And my entire time playing through this, I only experienced one crash. I really expected more to happen, honestly. But up next we have is Far Cry New Dawn. I got the Platinum Trophy on June 10th, 2023. So this was my first Far Cry game I have done, and I didn't find it terrible, but one thing I do wish I did was I played Far Cry 5 before I did New Dawn. But besides that, I found the story for New Dawn a bit short, and also there is one trophy I struggled in particular while doing this, was the trophy called Anger Management, where you had to eliminate 10 enemies within a single activation of Wrath. This took me a few tries to do, and I was getting a little bit frustrated while trying to do it. But other than that, there were a few co-op trophies you had to do. Like, let me see if, yeah, this right here. Complete 3 expeditions with a co-op partner. But other than that, the rest were somewhat easy and straightforward. Maybe Pure Ninja, liberate a rank 3 outpost while staying undetected can be a little bit difficult, but other than that, everything else is easy and pretty straightforward. So next up is Donut County. I got the Platinum Trophy on June 12th, 2023. So this is another one of those short and easy kind of games, but it's not short like, you know, the Pig D or the Pig Quiz. You have to put more effort into it. This game in particular was a nice and short and, you know, silly kind of game. The only trophy I had trouble in particular was Secret Soup, mainly because I didn't know what I was doing. In which case, I had to look it up and I had to put in like 2 salt and like 3 pepper into it. And then after that, I thought that would pop the trophy. But no, I also had to feed it to the bird. By which case, it did not say to feed it to the bird when I looked it up the first time. So I was getting kind of angry with that. But other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward if you look through a guide. That was the only trophy that it didn't really explain everything completely. Oh boy, and then after that we have is DC Universe Online. And I got this Platinum Trophy on June 22nd, 2023. Now, if you were to ask me the question, what was your most embarrassing Platinum Trophy you have gotten? And my answer would be this game. To start off, I would not recommend this game to any trophy hunter. I mean, it is a decent game, but for the trophies, it is not worth it. For one, you can't even get the trophies unless you buy their monthly subscription. Not only that, but you have to play through the game 6 times. You have to play through it with 3 characters on the hero side and another 3 characters on the villain side. Not only that, but you also have to have at least 3 of those characters having the different moveset abilities. One for air, flying, one for fast running, and one for swiftness. And in the end, like I said, I would not recommend this to any trophy hunter. It is just not worth it. But the reason why I decided to go ahead and do this was because it was already locked in on my account, because I used to play this casually, and I got a membership to get a thing called a League Hall, and that basically unlocked trophies, and that made the game stuck on my account, basically. So next up is Stranded Deep, and I got the Platinum Trophy on July 9th, 2023. Now, I will be honest, yes, I did use the glitch that used to be a thing where if you joined someone's game and they already had the Platinum Trophy on that game, it would auto-pop the trophies for you. That glitch is now patched, though. And I decided to take advantage of that because I heard that this game can be buggy and glitchy. And don't get me wrong, I did think about doing it legit, but I was like, I don't know if I want to do it because of the game being glitchy and buggy and stuff like that. So I decided to take advantage of the glitch and get a free plat, basically. And I am not proud of this platinum because I cheesed it, but you know, trophy hunters do what they have to do. If it involves cheesing a platinum trophy, you know, you do what you gotta do. But I will try and avoid doing this sort of stuff in other games the best I can. So next we have is Watch Dogs, and I got this platinum trophy on July 10th, 2023. For this one, I actually enjoyed this game a lot. And from what I heard, this Watch Dogs game was really good compared to the other ones in the franchise. And after playing through it, I agree with that. The story for this one was phenomenal. The only thing I will say is there was a lot of side stuff you had to clean up. From doing side missions like fixer contracts, doing all the gang hideouts, you know, just basically like collectibles and side missions. There were also quite a bit of online trophies, like having to do hacking online and tailing online. But while trying to do it, I surprisingly didn't have that much trouble trying to do the online portion of this game. But in the end, I actually really enjoyed my experience with Watch Dogs, and I highly recommend anyone to play it, because it is such a good game. And then after that, we have My Friend Peppa Pig. And I got the Platinum Trophy on July 10th, 2023. So for the record, I did not pay the full price of $40 for this game. I decided to pay $20 for PlayStation Extra just so I can play this game. I mean, hey, I basically saved $20 to play My Friend Peppa Pig. And mainly the reason why I did it was mainly for a meme or a joke. And technically it involves pigs, right? Which is included for my journey to platinum every pig and mafia-related game. So it fits that category. But with that said, I mean, it's Peppa Pig, right? Like, there was nothing difficult about it. It's one of those family-friendly games. Like, what do you want me to say? That's all I have to say about that. Oh boy. So next up we have is Risk of Rain 2. And I got this platinum trophy on July 15th, 2023. So for this, all I have to say is I still have flashbacks, and they are not good flashbacks. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this game at the start, but that is until I was left with 2 trophies in particular, which they are called, let me see if I can find it, This one, where you have to defeat an elite boss on Monsoon difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty in the game. And the other one is Prismatically Aligned, where you have to complete a prismatic trial. For this one in particular, I struggled so much trying to do it. It got to that point where I had to cheese this trophy and defeat the boss that way. There was this one particular point on this specific map where the enemies could not get to me. And from that point, I would just attack the boss from that point. Now, some of the enemies were able to get to me, but they were just like the flying dudes, and that was fine. I at least was not getting bombarded by a group of enemies. And for the other trophy, it was kind of a hit or miss on what it was like. You could either get a reasonable and doable trial, or you would just get bad luck and you would get bad like modifiers that did not mix well in like a bad map spawn and stuff like that. And you would have to wait, I don't know, like some time, I don't know what it is, like a week or something for it to change. And it could either be better or it could be worse. You don't know. But overall, I don't think I would redo this game. However, I will have to go back to it at some point because they had the audacity to include just one trophy in the DLC they added. Like, come on, really? I'm waiting for this DLC to go on a decent sale. I'm not paying full price for that. So next up we have is Twisted Metal. And I got this Platinum Trophy on July 20th, 2023. Once I heard that this game was on the PlayStation Store, I had to go for this one because I used to play this game back on the PlayStation, the first PlayStation. Now, I wasn't good at it, and I couldn't get very far in the game, but it was a part of my childhood. And thankfully, there was a rewind feature where you could go back to the point where you didn't die or took too much damage. So it pretty much made this game pretty easy to get the platinum. And if that feature wasn't there, I don't think I would be able to do this game at all, really. And also the controls were very clunky, but other than that, I still enjoyed my time playing Twisted Metal. So up next we have is the first Mafia. And I got the Platinum Trophy on July 27th, 2023. So for this game in particular, I decided to make it my 40th Platinum milestone. And I have to say that this Mafia game was way better than the third one I did. The only thing that I did not like about this was that dreadful race on the hardest difficulty. The car was so hard to control and it would easily spin out of control. And also your best bet with this is pure luck and hoping that the AI would crash into one of the wrecked cars. And that is exactly what happened to me, and I happened to get first place and do the race. But other than the race, the rest of it was pretty easy and straightforward, other than some of the gunfights being somewhat challenging. But as long as you're patient and don't try to rush through it, you can do it no problem. So up next is Remnant from the Ashes, and I got this Platinum Trophy on July 29th, 2023. I had a lot of fun playing through this, and I decided to go back and get the Platinum alongside a good friend named It's Alex Gaming. But that's when things turn for the worse, as some of the trophies can be buggy when you're playing in co-op with another person. In which that would result in us trying to get the trophies to pop in our own games by either getting another armor set, getting another trait, or getting another mod, or whatever it is. There is also another trophy to defeat a world boss without taking damage. Now, there is a particular build that you can do that pretty much just melts the boss's health. And the easiest boss to do that with is this one, Singe, which is the dragon boss. But other than that, I really enjoyed this game, and the Platinum was not too bad either. Despite there also being some RNG factor into it, which could potentially take some time. So next up is both LEGO Harry Potter's years 1 through 4 and years 5 through 7. I got the Platinum Trophy for years 1 through 4 on August 2nd, 2023, and I got the Platinum for years 5 through 7 on August 8th, 2023. So I decided to play both these games back to back because it made sense to me. So I played both LEGO Harry Potter games back on Steam, but when I finally got the collection edition on PlayStation, I decided to go back and play through it again and get the Platinum for both games. Now, I will admit, trying to get through the story levels in general was a bit mind-numbing. And that was mainly because I played through the game before and I was trying to rush through it so I can get to free play and get all the stuff I missed in the levels. But other than that, your first time playing through these games would be quite enjoyable, but trying to play through them a second time can be boring and just mind-numbing, like I said. And after that, we have Astro's Playroom. And I got this Platinum Trophy on August 9th, 2023. So towards the very end, when I was playing LEGO Harry Potter years 5 through 7 is when I finally got my PlayStation 5. And so with that, I decided to make Astro's Playroom my first PlayStation 5 Platinum. And after hearing that this game was really good, I can see why. While playing through this, it brought back so many memories when I used to play back on the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. It was basically a blast from the past. But with that said, this Platinum is super easy and I am glad to have this as my first PlayStation 5 Platinum. So up next we have A Way Out, and I got this Platinum Trophy on August 21st, 2023. Now I played this back on PC and I absolutely loved it. And with that, I wanted to play it again, but get the Platinum Trophy for it. And by playing through it a second time, I still really love this game. And the thing about it is, you don't have to complete the entire game to get the Platinum Trophy. Although, I still encourage anyone to still play all the way through it, because it is such a good game and it is worthwhile. This game, in my eyes, is literally a masterpiece, in my opinion. And after that, we have Tom Clancy's The Division. And I got this Platinum Trophy on August 21st, 2023. Now, with this game, I have a bit of mixed feelings with. It was an okay game, but the one thing I did not like was the absurd amount of collectibles. There was like 200 or 300 collectibles around the map. But honestly, the other thing I hate the most was the Dark Zones. And basically what that is it is basically an area where you could do PvP in. And after experiencing the Dark Zone, I would much rather go around and collect the collectibles again. The reason why is because while we were doing the Dark Zone, we basically got spawn camped and stream sniped basically. Which is the reason why we decided to do A Way Out for a little bit. And when we finished A Way Out, we went back to Division and got the Platinum for it. Overall, my thoughts for this game is a bit of a mix. And all I have to say is, it is an okay game. It's nothing too crazy. So next we have is Assassin's Creed 2. And I got this Platinum Trophy on September 4th, 2023. Now for this, I decided to do something particularly different, and that is to race for the Platinum with a fellow trophy hunter, which is also, it's Alex Gaming. And if you want to find out who won, well, I got a video coming out for this game, so stay tuned for that when I get around to it. But anyways, I quite enjoyed the experience for this game. The only thing I did not like about this was the clunky parkour mechanics. There has been times when I have jumped to my death because of it. But everything else I quite enjoyed, and I am planning to do the rest of the Assassin's Creed franchise and get the Platinum Trophy for them. So up next we have Dreams, and I got this Platinum Trophy on September 10th, 2023. Now, while casually playing games and checking out other people's games, you know, just casually playing, it was fun and enjoyable, and it was interesting to see what other people made. But going for the Platinum, the other hand, made the experience a pain and suffering experience. First off, there is around like 6 trophies in here that would take like 2 hours each. Yeah, these ones. Reach rank 3 or higher in all these. Just doing these alone would take like 2 hours. And if we're talking in total of how long that would take, you're talking like 12 to 24 hours. But not only that, but during this time when I was doing it, there was one glitch trophy in the story mode, which is Art's Dream is what it's called. And the trophy that was glitched was this one, where you had to collect all the prize bubbles in Art's Dream. But thankfully, obviously, it is patched and it is fixed. But the hardest part throughout this was trying to get to level 30, right here. This took a wicked long time to the point where I was starting to lose my sanity. And that ended up me making The Rock give Shrek a rock bottom. Okay, the Rock, stop. I know Shrek is love, you know, Shrek is life, all that stuff, but you gotta give him a rock bottom. What's going on here? Lost sanity. That's what's going on here. But in the end, this game was fun to play casually, but trying to get the platinum trophy was just life draining. So next up we have is Thief Simulator. And I got the platinum trophy on September 19th, 2023. Now, for what I have to say about this game is this. It was weird. At the start, I really enjoyed this game a lot, but I got to the second half of the game where it started getting complex and very difficult. On top of that, I had some glitches where I just randomly got the cops for no reason. In the end, I would say this game is okay, but it was a bit buggy as well. And with that, this marks my 50th platinum I gotten, and that is Grand Theft Auto 4. And I got the platinum trophy on September 27th, 2023. Throughout my time playing GTA 4, I focus on trying to get some trophies off and on, and that is until I found some nice and amazing fellow trophy hunters that were looking to do the online portion for this game. Now, the online portion had both grind and difficult aspects. The grindy portions were the races. So what happened was we split the team into 2 groups, and by doing that, we had to do a total of like 216 races because we had to do like 108 per person. Alongside that, there was also the grind to get the max level in online. And there was a method with the second heist, which is this boat heist, and there was this whole huge glitch and everything. I'm not going to get into it, but it took a lot of setup and time to do it. But the hardest part about the online portion was the Fly the Co-op trophy. It is basically you had to speed run the heist missions in online. But eventually, we ended up doing all the online portions, and I had a little bit of the single player to do, which wasn't really a whole lot. It was very, like, simple cleanup stuff. But overall, I am very happy to have this as my 50th platinum. So next up we have is Unpacking, and I got the platinum trophy on September 28th, 2023. I really loved this game when I played it back on Steam. And when it came to PlayStation Extra, I wanted to play it again and get the platinum trophy. And after playing through it a second time, I still really love this game. It is a short and chill experience, and it has a somewhat of a story to it. And to get the platinum trophy, it is very simple and straightforward. And in the end, I highly recommend anyone to check this game out. It is so good. So next we have is Slime Rancher. And I got this platinum trophy on October 1st, 2023. Now, in my previous platinum showcase video, I talked about the games I might go back in platinum as they only had like 1 trophy in them. And Slime Rancher was one of those games. So I decided to go back and make an attempt to get this platinum. On my first attempt on rush mode, I made some pretty good progress, but I didn't get quite there. But that is until when I ran out of time, I still got the trophy. And the reason for that is because there is a boost you get for selling a certain amount of plorts, and that is what basically carried me to get the last trophy I needed. But anyways, I still enjoyed this game by just playing through it casually, and I highly recommend anybody to play it. So next up we have is My Time at Portia. And I got the Platinum Trophy on October 3rd, 2023. Similar to Slime Rancher, this was also one of those games I decided to go back and clean up in that video. But for this, I made sure I followed the guide and made sure I was well prepared for this trophy. And honestly, this trophy I miss is not as bad as long as you are well prepared and you don't go past the date where the quest for that trophy in particular starts. But overall, I really enjoyed playing through this game casually. So next up we have 3 games. We have Iron Snout, Whiskey Mafia Leo's Family, and Whiskey Mafia Frank's Story. I got these Platinum trophies on October 10th, 2023. Now, if it isn't obvious, I mainly did these games to continue that journey to play and platinum every pig and mafia-related game. But for Iron Snout, it was pretty basic and somewhat enjoyable. There were a few trophies I had a hard time with, but it wasn't terrible. Now for the Whiskey Mafia games, it's basically those kinds of games where it's like a story narrative kind of game where you read the dialogue. However, there is one thing I came across when doing the Leo's Family, and that is mainly this trophy. I was going through the scene for this trophy, and at the end of it, it didn't pop. And then when I got through and did this scene, it popped, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I missed the trophy somehow. So I went back and replayed through the entire game, this scene in particular, but I skipped the dialogue and that managed to pop. That's the reason why this looks a little weird. But anyways, these games were, fairly easy and just like, I mainly did it just to continue the journey to platinum every pig and mafia related game. That's the only reason why I did it. So the next game we have is Goosebumps the Game. And I got this Platinum Trophy on October 16th, 2023. Now for this one, I mainly followed through a guide because by the time I was doing this game is when it was leaving PlayStation Extra. There isn't really much I can say about this game except it is one of those point and clicker kind of games. The only thing I would say is there was this one puzzle that was pretty complex and you would probably have a very difficult time doing it. Let me see if I can find a trophy regarding it. I don't think there is. But the puzzle basically is you have to develop a photo and there is different steps where after you do it, you had to wait a certain amount of time. Overall, I don't really have much to say about this game because I was mainly focusing on trying to get the Platinum Trophy and I used the guide like majority of the time and I didn't really hook in like what the game was about or what it is really or like the experience of it. I mainly just did it for the platinum basically. So next we have is We Were Here 2 and I got this Platinum Trophy on October 31st, 2023. I played the first We Were Here game back on Steam and I am looking forward to playing through the rest of the We Were Here games and get the Platinum Trophy for it. But the reason I did this one in particular was because it was like $1 on the store and I decided to do this one and get the Platinum Trophy for it. The whole purpose of this game was you had to get through a certain amount of puzzles and to escape the place basically. However, there is this one puzzle in particular I struggled so hard trying to do it, and it was this one? Yeah, I think it was the Battlefield one. Yeah, it is. It was the Battlefield puzzle. I don't know what it is, but we struggled so hard trying to get past this puzzle in particular. But other than that, I really enjoyed this game, and I am looking forward to playing the other games in the franchise. Next we have is It Takes Two, and I got the platinum on November 10th, 2023. This game is similar to A Way Out, where you play with another person and try to work together and solve puzzles. I played this game back on the PC and I really enjoyed it, which I then decided to play it a second time on PlayStation and get the Platinum Trophy for it. And after playing through it a second time, I still enjoyed it. And the Platinum Trophy is simple and straightforward. I would highly recommend anyone to check this game out. So next up we have is the reboot of Saints Row. And I got this Platinum Trophy on November 12th, 2023. Despite what I heard about this game, I still wanted to check it out because I am such a hardcore fan of Saints Row. Playing through it though, I didn't really come across that many game-breaking bugs. Not saying there weren't any, I still had bugs, but I expected there to be more of the game-breaking bugs. The story for this one wasn't the greatest, I just found it to be okay. The only DLC I really did not like was Doc Ketchum's Murder Circus. This was just a painful experience and it was just a decently long grind to do it. And I would not recommend trying to do this DLC at all. But overall, the experience I find with this game, all I have to say is it is just mediocre. There's nothing special about it. So next we have is the original Destroy All Humans, and I got the Platinum Trophy on November 22nd, 2023. Now, I only played the second game in this franchise, and I've been wanting to check out and play through the first one. Now, from my experience with this one, it was weird. I don't know if it was because I was playing through it on the PS5, but I had some issues with it. For one, the game crashed on me a lot of times, and for whatever reason, the audio had this like crackling sound to it occasionally. However, I played through the story of this game without using cheats, which is acceptable with trophies. Cheats does not disable the trophies whatsoever. There's only specific trophies in particular that you cannot use specific cheats with, like the brains cheat for this one, which I will get more into my experience trying to do this trophy. And using the cheats, it made the game feel like a 3 out of 10. But if you were to not use cheats, it felt more like a 5 or 6 out of 10. But going back to what I said previously, that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that one trophy in particular, where you had to collect a total of 50,000 DNA. And the way I did that was I kept replaying this one mission where I had to toss a whole bunch of cows into one another. And that was basically the fastest way of getting DNA, was through that one mission. But in the end, I still enjoyed playing to this one, and I am looking forward to playing the remakes as well for both of these games. I want to see how much the remakes have improved on these games and how it looks. So next up we have is Lego Movie the video game, and I got this Platinum Trophy on December 4th, 2023. So at this point, I was really itching to do another Lego game, and then I made the decision to do Lego Movie. From what I thought about it, I really enjoyed it. The only thing about it was I was struggling on a particular level where you were sliding down a mountain and you had to jump on some train tracks, and you had to basically follow the train tracks and get a collectible. But for some reason, I kept falling off the train tracks so many times, and it caused me to get really frustrated. But other than that, the rest of it was pretty easy and straightforward, and I really enjoyed this game overall. So next up we have is Fall Guys, and I got this Platinum Trophy on December 8th, 2023. My experience for this one, all I have to say is soul draining. For the longest time in this game, the Infallible Trophy was the hardest trophy you had to get in this game. But by the time I was playing through this game, it made that trophy really easy to get by just playing other people's created courses. By which that would result in you by just winning immediately by just crossing the finish line. Basically, everyone is a winner. However, the one thing that made this extremely dreadful was having to qualify for 500 rounds. I was playing round after round, and when the trophy finally popped, I literally jumped out of my chair of excitement. Oh! No! No! I'll do this! Oh my god! Yes! Qualify for 500 rounds! And that means... Oh, thank you! Ultimate Fall Guy! Oh, yes! Oh my god! I had to do 185 extra. That's how much it took me. 185 more. In the end, I would definitely not recommend anyone to go after this game and get the Platinum Trophy for it still. It is still just pretty bad and it will take a long time out of you. Up next we have is Back 4 Blood, and I got this Platinum Trophy on December 16th, 2023. I have a few things I want to say about this game. First of all, this was a decent game. And second, it was just a painful and soul-draining experience as well. To begin with, the game had you play on the Nightmare difficulty, which that wasn't too bad. But that is until when we got to the DLC where you had to play the DLC missions on No Hope difficulty, which is higher than Nightmare. I tried to do Act 6 on No Hope, but at some point it just got too much for me and I just could not do it. I had to give up. Another thing is there is another trophy where you had to kill a ridiculous amount of zombies. Let me see if I can find it in here. Yeah, there it is. Kill 53,600 ridden over your career. And basically all I did was I stood at this one spot and just non-stop just swung at zombies for like hours on end. Overall, this game had mixed feelings for me, but I still think it was a decent game in the end. So next up we have is The Grinch Christmas Adventures. I got this Platinum Trophy on December 23rd, 2023. For this one, I mainly did it as somewhat of a joke on an appropriate occasion. I was in the mood to platinum a Christmas-related game, or a holiday-related game, if you will, around the appropriate time. And that is why I chose this game in particular. And for what I thought, it was nothing too fancy. It's like one of those, family-friendly kind of games. And what did I think about it? I thought it was interesting and entertaining, to say the least. So next up we have is Gotham Knights, and I got this Platinum Trophy on January 3rd, 2024. Despite what people said about this game, I actually really enjoyed this game a lot. One thing I did not like about it though was one of the DLCs was repetitive and it was just too much. And I think it was this one, the Heroic Assault. Basically, it was just too repetitive and you would just be doing the same thing over and over again. It was mainly these right here, completing the 30 floors. It was just too much and it was just basically the same thing. And the second DLC did the exact same thing, but they decided to change it up and have it where every 5 floors they did a double boss fight. And with that said, in the end, I didn't find this game to be terrible. I actually did really enjoy this game. And the one thing I have said before is I wish they made new bosses for this DLC in particular, because basically what it is, it's basically the same bosses as the base games. Exactly the same. Same moveset, basically a copy and paste from the base game. That's basically all it is. Now, up to this point, I was really enjoying my time and getting platinum trophies, but it was around this time between Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League where I was feeling a bit of a burnout, and I was also feeling a bit down. At this point, I was really reflecting on my life a lot and what I was going to do with myself in life. It was a lot of personal thinking, which led me to not really play much games at all or even do much of trophy hunting. But after some time, I managed to get out of this hole I'm in and keep going at it and continue trophy hunting. In which that brings us to our next game, which is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and I got the Platinum Trophy on February 17th, 2024. My experience with this game in particular was actually pretty terrible. For one, this game does not work correctly in co-op. It is most likely better to be played solo. I just had so many bugs and issues when I was trying to play this game co-op. And towards the end of this game, it turned into a repetitive grind to get to squad level 50. Which on top of that, trying to do all the incursion missions and trying to get the different tiers of equipment made the grind even worse. Overall, I would not recommend this game in the slightest. I would probably suggest waiting for it to go on sale, as it is an okay game to play. I actually kind of enjoyed it, but I would not pay the full price. I would wait for it to go on sale. So next up we have is Rocket Arena, and I got this Platinum Trophy on March 5th, 2024. For this game in particular, I decided to jump into it because it was getting a server shutdown and I wanted to get a decently rare Platinum. This game used to be PvP based, but they changed it where you team up with other people and you are faced up against AI bots. For the Platinum, there was a lot you had to do, like you had to get 100 KLs with the majority of the characters in the game, and also getting a certain amount of score in the different game modes. One thing with this game though is it was difficult to get some of the other modes, as this game really liked a particular game mode called Rocket Ball for some reason. But overall, in the end, I still quite enjoyed my time playing through this game. Even though there were some frustrating moments at times, I still had fun playing it. So next up we have is The Artful Escape, and I got the Platinum Trophy on March 8th, 2024. At this point in time, I was working on some wicked long games that was going to take like at least 100 hours to get the Platinum, in which it made me decide to do a relatively shorter game and get the Platinum Trophy for it. That is when I was recommended this game, and I really enjoyed it. It was a chill and entertaining game, and I highly recommend it. So next up we have is Ark Survival Evolved, and I got this Platinum Trophy on April 4th, 2024. So this one is a bit of a weird story. So the reason I went back to go and do this game in my backlog was because I was going to do some sort of event with the newer Ark game, Ark Survival Ascended. And basically what we would do is we were going to do it legit, in which I will share my experience with that later on and how that went down. But basically, I booted up this version of the game and I basically did it the console command way or method, in which that didn't really take too long to do. And the reason I did that was because I would redeem myself by doing the other version the legit way. Although I did experience some sort of issues while trying to do the console command way, and I was having a hard time trying to get the Maximum Survivor trophy to pop. Although I did manage to figure it out, and I managed to get the trophy to pop. And like I said before, I will go around and share my thoughts of what I thought about the remake of the Ascended version. But up next we have is Last Stop, and I got the Platinum Trophy on April 21st, 2024. I decided to do this game because I was actually interested in it, and around this time it was leaving PlayStation Extra, so I made the decision to do it now while I was still interested in it. And for a relatively short game, I actually really enjoyed it. And the stories between the 3 different characters really interested me. There were some missables in the game, but there is chapter select and you can just go back to those chapters and get those trophies, so it's not really a big of a deal. Other than that, the Platinum Trophy is fairly simple and I highly recommend checking this game out. So next up we have is Nioh 2, and I got this Platinum Trophy on April 25th, 2024. So this is my first Dark Souls-like kind of game that I played and platinumed. And for my thoughts about it, I really enjoyed it while I was playing with someone. And I don't think I would really enjoy it as much if I played it mainly solo. I think I mainly enjoyed it while I was playing through it in co-op. Although not everything in the game you could do in co-op, there were some solo fights you had to do, and some of the fights I had a hard time doing them, and I was getting really frustrated with some of them actually. But the DLC added onto it, and some of the bosses in the DLC were pretty brutal. And on top of that, I had to do all the missions in the DLC on Dream of the Demon, which is basically New Game Plus Plus. Overall, I will say I actually enjoyed my experience with this game, and I highly recommend anyone to check it out. And last but not least, to end it off, we have Ark Survival Ascended, in which I got the Platinum Trophy on May 11th, 2024. So like I was saying previously on the Evolved version of this game, I had a shocking experience with this game. And I know I said before in the past that I wasn't gonna do any double stacking on games, but I decided to make this game an exception because it was like some sort of special event involving like 5 or 6 people, and we were all going to contribute to it and do it legit. Here is the thing with that. There were like 2 people that did the majority of the work for it. There was like 2 other people maybe that contributed to it, but the other 2 people hardly did any of the work. Alex and I did the majority of the work for it. But the thing with that is we spent like around 80 hours grinding for materials and breeding, taming, and leveling up dinos. And during that time, we were prepping up to do the first boss of the game. And when we got around to do the first boss of the game and got into the boss arena, we didn't even get the boss down to half health. And at that point, we pretty much lost all of our dinos we trained and lost everything, and we all died, pretty much. All of our items were lost, and all of our dinos were dead. We pretty much just wasted like 100 hours of playtime just instantly like that. And at that point, we all just decided to throw in the towel and basically decided to do it the console command method way. And yes, they also included that in this version of the game as well. However, they made that method a little bit difficult to do, as when you try to do it, it would disable trophies, but there was a workaround to do it. What you would do is you would type in the commands in the console, and then what you would do is you would save the game, you would exit to main menu, and then what you would do is you would close down the game and reopen it and go back into your game. And then you do the thing you would do for said trophy and it would pop that way, registering that you were not in console command mode or creative mode or something when you loaded back into the game. But overall, I really hated the outcome for this game. I am ashamed and I regret every single minute that I invested into this game. And I will forever hate Ark Survival. And with that, guys, that is the end of the video. And to get my final thoughts of what my first year of trophy hunting was like, what I have to say is this. I actually enjoyed it. I have accomplished some pretty impressive games, and on top of that, I met some pretty amazing people and became a part of an amazing trophy hunting community. Even though I went through some hard times and some difficult obstacles in some of the games I faced, in the end, when I see that platinum trophy, it felt rewarding. And I think I will continue trophy hunting is my final decision. And for my upcoming plans on what I have going on, I am thinking of doing either LEGO Incredibles or Zombie Army 4. Which after that then leads me to my 75th platinum milestone, which I am planning to do Mafia 2 for that milestone. Anything after that is whatever until I reach my 100th platinum milestone, which I am deciding to do Grand Theft Auto 5. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, press that like button. And if you want to see me play in platinum games live on stream, go over to the Pig Mafia on Twitch. And with that said, I hope you all have an awesome rest of your night or day, and I will see you all later. Bye everybody. The Pig Mafia is signing off.